So I had this plan to leave my house, come get some coffee. I'm in the Starbucks parking lot right now, but I came to get some coffee. I was gonna go to the park, sit and read while I drink my coffee, and then when I was done, I was gonna go for a walk. I checked the weather, and it now says that there is a 90% chance of rain in 15 minutes. Okay, there's an old woman next to me. Why? I parked so... Anyway, so now that it has decided to rain on my parade, I need to rethink. I need to rethink and reevaluate. I could still go to the park and wait out the rain in the car. I don't think the rain is supposed to last very long. Also, drive-thrus make me so anxious for some reason, especially Starbucks. So pretty much every single time I go to Starbucks, I will park before I go through the drive-thru to decide what I want and get prepared, and then I will go through the drive-thru. So we're gonna get a little treat, and then I'm gonna go somewhere to start this challenge. I've officially read my first 100 pages of the day. I am gonna be so good at this, you guys. The false confidence is still there. But I started out this morning. I was on page 170 of the Quarry girls, and I am officially on 270. This book is like 310 pages, so I have about 40-ish pages left. And then I'll have 60 pages left for the day because I'm going to finish this. This book is really good. I'm so invested in this story. I've not wanted to take any breaks. Like, I'm gonna sit here right now and finish this book. And then I'll be able to start a new book today. But we'll decide... Girl. Okay. But we'll figure that out later. Guys, this was so good. I'm sorry about how dark it is in my room right now. It is about to rain, but I need to talk about this book. Easily a 4.5. It might turn into a 5 eventually. I have never read anything by Jess Laurie before, but I've already looked up her other books to get because I liked her writing that much. But she did such a good job of putting you inside the head of a 15-year-old girl who's probably had a little bit more responsibility than she should have had. She is navigating the transition from girlhood to womanhood and just realizing a lot about the world around her, how dangerous it is, how dangerous men are. But yeah, it was just the perfect summer coming of age mystery. I love how she ended the book. Chef's kiss. I need to hurry this up before all of the lighting disappears. Like, it's actually so dark outside right now. Anyways, so finishing this put me at about 137 pages for today, meaning we have 63 pages left. So we need to pick a new book, except I don't know what I want to read now. Because I'm really feeling like the summer slasher vibe. But I don't think I have anything else like that right now. We'll see. I'm doing so good. I am truly just off to a great start with this challenge. I'm not gonna fail this one. I am not gonna fail this one like I failed the 24-hour readathon. So yesterday I did in fact complete 200 pages. I started The House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. I needed to read 63 pages of this and I ended up reading 80. So So not only that, but okay, hey girl. Bye. I am also loving this book. I loved The Quarry Girls, the last book I just finished. Started out the video with a bang, and we are upkeeping the vibes with this one. Also, ignore this, I'm washing my sheets. But a little bit of background. This is about three sisters who, when they were younger, they were mysteriously taken, they disappeared, they vanished for a month. And when they come back, they're different. They don't remember anything about what happened to them. They come back as very strange. Their appearance changes. They're very odd. Like, people are a little bit scared of them because like strange things happen around them, and they can also make strange things happen to other people. They're also described as like unnaturally beautiful. Like, as they grow up, they evolve into like these very ethereal, otherworldly, like alluring human beings. So the oldest sister has gone missing again, and the other two are trying to find her. But this is framed as like a haunting modern fairy tale, and it is just giving off the coolest vibes. Very whimsical, but like a dark whimsical, like a little bit witchy even. It's also set in Scotland and London, so I'm thinking like your traditional Celtic fairy tale, like not Disney. This is also reminding me a little bit of like Holly Black, like The Cruel Prince, like the way that she writes fairies, and I love the way that she writes fairies. So yeah, like I said, I'm on page 80 of this. I'm gonna keep reading. If I need to take a break and pick up something else to, you know, split up those 200 pages, I might, but I also might read this straight through because I'm liking it that much right now. Great reads in a row. I'm still having a great time with this challenge. I got to page 280 of The House of Hollow last night, which did take me almost to the end, but I did not want to finish this book when I was half awake. So then this morning, y'all just saw me. I finished this while I was at the park. Read this book. This might actually be one of my new favorite books. This is just everything I love about like YA fantasy, YA fairy tale, a twisted fairy tale. It just gave me literally everything that I wanted. I love the sisters so much, specifically the oldest sister, Grey Hollow. She is very much one of my new favorite characters, and I don't care what she did. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I don't care. She is just the type of female main character that I love in fantasy. Like, let me read you this quote. "She moved through the world like no other woman I knew. What you don't understand," she said to me once, "is that I am the thing in the dark." Like, the type of main character who is powerful and dangerous, and she knows it. I also just really enjoyed this author's writing. Crystal Sutherland, she is a new author to me, so we are just discovering new authors all around here, but her writing was descriptive, it was immersive, it was cozy. And if you've read this book, you might be like, what the fuck are you talking about cozy? Because this is not a cozy book, but it was cozy to me. 10 out of 10, recommend. Go read it. I finished this morning, and then I read about a chapter of The Body Keeps the Score. Got a little bit of a change of pace with this one, but in total that was only about 27 pages, so we do have a bit more to go. But now I'm also in the mood for more twisted fairy tale. I low-key might reread Coraline. I've kind of been thinking about this book lately. If you didn't know, that is one of my absolute favorite movies of all time. And of course I have also read the book. I've read it a couple times actually, but I'm kind of in the mood to just reread this and then watch the movie. This is also less than 200 pages, so I could just read this all in one day and that would get me up there. I also took The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black off the shelf. I have read this multiple times as well. This is probably also one of my favorite books. While I was reading The House of Hollow, I kept thinking about this book. They kind of have really similar vibes. Like, it's a foresty, fairy tale, kind of dark undertone vibe. I think we're gonna read a little bit of both of these today. I kind of forgot how different like the movie and the book are. Like, I'm pretty sure YB doesn't even exist in the book. Also, I just read the description of the door. It's literally described as a big carved brown wooden door, and in the movie it's just like a little square door. Also, Coraline's parents like really do suck. Like, they suck more in the book. In the movie they're like kind of sucky, but like the dad, you can tell he's like trying to have fun sometimes. No, they just suck in the book. So I just finished Coraline. Honestly, I have the best vibes in my room right now. I was reading, I have my lights on, it's raining right now, and I have my window open. Like I said, just finished that. It is honestly so much more fast-paced than the movie. Like, things start happening so quickly in the book. Also, the doll from the movie is not in the book at all. I don't know when this became a Coraline book to movie analysis, but here we are. The movie makes the book feel so much more vibrant. Like, I don't think I would really like the book without the movie. Actually, I still have a couple more pages to read. So earlier I said I read 27 pages. That was 162. So 162 plus 27 is
180. Wait, hold on. 162 plus 20.
That's 189 pages. So we're almost there. So that means we have 11 pages to go. Also, Coraline is not American. In the book, they're not in America. Like, in the book, you can tell they're not American, and they talk about like London and stuff and like the flat. I wonder why they didn't keep her English. That's all. I need to stop talking about this because this is not what this video is about. You know what? No. I am not going to sit here and pretend that I'm disappointed in myself for ordering more books. Because I'm not. I literally have no shame. Because this is what makes me happy. So, I saw that Amazon was doing their little get 3 for the price of 2. And it was same day delivery. Like, did you expect me not to take advantage of that? Because that would have been embarrassing if I didn't. So that being said, we have a little mini book haul. One thing I don't like about ordering from Amazon is that sometimes the books come a little banged up. Like, you see that? I don't like that. So first I have Unspeakable Things by Jess Laurie. She wrote The Quarry Girls, which I started at the beginning of this video, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed her writing, so I wanted to get another one of her books. I think this is her most popular book, if I'm not making that up, but this is another small town mystery set in the 80s. I think her books are all inspired by true crime stories. This is about Cassie McDowell living in Minnesota in the 80s. Small town, lives on a farm, but one by one, local boys go missing, and one by one they return changed, violent, moody, and withdrawn. This also says Cassie must find her way in an adult world where every sin is justified and only the truth is unforgivable. Next, I got Final Girls by Riley Sager. I have not read any Riley Sager. He's a very popular thriller mystery author, and I have yet to read a single book by him. 10 years ago, college student Quincy Carpenter went on vacation with 5 friends and came back alone. In an instant, she became a member of a club no one wants to belong to, a group of similar massacre survivors known in the press as the Final Girls. So it looks like now she's an adult and obviously things are coming back around. So lastly, I got Girl Interrupted by Susanna Kaysen. This is a memoir, so this is her story, this is her life. This is her account of being an 18-year-old in 1960 67. She's taken to a psychiatric hospital, and it is kind of her story of being there, being with the other girls. This is a very famous memoir that also became a very famous movie. Obviously, I've not read the book, and I have not seen the movie. Like I've said before, I love nonfiction books about psychology. I love memoirs, biographies, people's stories about dealing with mental health. I'm excited to read this as well. So I was reading The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. I do love this book, but I'm gonna put it on pause so I can start one of these. This is why I really have to control myself when it comes to buying books, because if I'm in the middle of a book and I buy a new one, I will want to start that book. So I think I'm going to read a little bit of each of these and then decide which one I want to go with. And I'm not going to count that towards my final page count of 200 pages. So I'm going to go do that, and then we will see which one I end up starting. We have a lot of updates. First of all, yes, I dyed my hair. You probably cannot tell the difference, but as someone who dyes their hair black, you can tell when it's not black anymore. But there's a difference between fresh black and a black that needs redone. So my life force has been restored. I'm a new woman, first and foremost. Second of all, I started and finished Girl Interrupted yesterday. And guys, this is my bell jar. I read The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath in one of my earlier videos, and I did not like it. However, this did it for me. This did what The Bell Jar did not. This was a really fast read for me. I tabbed some quotes, and I will say this is written more so as like a short story collection rather than a linear plotline novel. Like there's no beginning, middle, end. They're just kind of like slices of her experience. It's also written in like a very matter-of-fact, this is how it was style, so that also made it very easy to read. I also ended up watching the movie last night, and I will say that the movie is definitely more so inspired by the book than directly based on it. They definitely sensationalized the book and added so much more drama that doesn't happen in the book, but I mean, it's a movie. So this was like 165 pages, I think. 168 pages. So I finished that. I read a little bit more of The Body Keeps the Score, and then I started Unspeakable Things, right? I got to about page 40. So I know all of that was over 200 pages. This is so good so far. I really don't have a lot of thoughts yet. Actually, that's a lie. I do have a thought. So far, this is seeming very similar to the Quarry girls. Like the adults, specifically the parents in both of these stories, they're like unstable and unreliable, and you can tell they're up to something conspicuous. So yeah, so far they're kind of like very similar stories, just packaged differently, which then again, I'm not even really mad at that, because if an author does a trope well or writes a certain type of story well and it performs well and people like to read it, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, I'm gonna read it. So yeah, those are my thoughts so far. That might change as I keep reading and they differentiate, but we'll see. This book is like 270 pages, so I probably will get through most of this today. Also, I think this is gonna be the last day because this would make day 5, right? I know it wasn't a full 7 days, but you get the point with 5. So I crushed that. I'm sorry, this little outro is going to be a lot of me hyping myself up because if I don't, who will? But I actually completed a reading challenge. The fact that I read all of these books, or at least in some capacity, in just this video in 5 days, it's kind of a slay. First of all, yes, I did read the majority and finish Unspeakable Things yesterday. Y'all, this book was fucked up. I'm not going to share my in-depth thoughts yet because I'm going to save it for the June wrap-up. So if you want to know what I think about this, you're gonna have to watch that. I started with the Quarry Girls by Jess Laurie. I think I was like halfway through when I started. This was a slay. I read The House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland next. Another slay. Go read this book. If you want to read any of the books that I read in this video, read this one. I read Coraline, I read Girl Interrupted. Both of these I read within a day because they were less than 200 pages. I read sprinkles of The Body Keeps the Score throughout. I didn't read a ton of it. This is just the type of book that I'm probably going to be reading for a while because I don't like to read big chunks of it at a time. So who knows when I'll actually finish this. I read like 100 pages of this because I needed something to read, and then my other books came in that I ordered from Amazon. But I am actually going to read the rest of this month because I do like this book and it's been a while since I've read it. And then of course, Unspeakable Things. Honestly, this did not feel like that much of a challenge. It kind of just felt like reading. Because 200 pages is just not that much more than I normally read. I'm not saying I read 200 pages every single day, but like all in all, it wasn't that much. And you're right, I could have increased the page count, but I had no urge to overachieve. I was simply just trying to achieve. That's it. But like I said, I'm just proud of myself for actually achieving a reading challenge. I guess in my case, we're better with a sprint than a marathon. But I guess that's all for this video. I really hope you guys liked it. I hope you decide to stick around. And I'll see you in the next one.